So welcome everyone once again to the third session of the leadership training program. So tonight we'll be talking about NCO Council, and I believe a lot here of you guys here are NCOs and future NCOs as well to come and learn. So let us open in a quick prayer before I introduce the speaker tonight. All right, so let us pray. Almighty Father, we thank you for our dear speaker to share with us tonight. And we also thank you for the officers and members who has made time to come and learn about NCO Council, Lord Almighty God. But also more importantly, to learn about leadership, Lord. And Lord, we just want to submit tonight unto your hand. Lord. May every one of us be able to learn from our speaker and learn from you, Lord Almighty God. We submit everything unto your hand, Lord. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right, so tonight we are very honored to have two speakers, but one of the speakers couldn't make it because he is traveling at the moment. So, but nonetheless, we are very excited to have the speakers to carry the whole session himself, right? But nonetheless, we also have the other speaker to share with us through the video as well. All right, so the speaker that I'm talking about tonight is Mr. Jordan Bong, Captain of 12 Kuching, and also Mr. Alcafe from 1st Kuala Lumpur. Both of them are rank and files, like you guys, growing up from Boys Brigade themselves, and now coming to serve as officers. All right, so without further ado, I will leave it to them to introduce further on themselves and on what they want to share with you guys tonight. Let's give a round of applause to them.
Thank you so much, Mr. George. Hi everyone, I'm Kafe. Most of my boys call me Mr. Au. I'm a lieutenant of 1st Kuala Lumpur. And I hope all of you can hear me and can see my screen here with the Leadership Training Program NCO Council. If you can hear me well and you can see my screen, please give a thumbs up so that I know that everything is all right on your end. Great, I see all the thumbs up. That's great. Okay, now before I officially start, I'm doing this thing called Slido. I would request all of you to join this website. If you have another gadget or on your computer, you can do that also on a browser. Go to slido.com, and they will ask you for a code, and you enter this 59226, and you'll be able to join this platform, which you can ask questions. And when you join in there, you will see two tabs. You will see one on the top, on the left, which is Q&A, and on the right, which is polls, P-O-L-L-S, right? And I'm going to start with a poll first before we officially start our session today. All right, so I'll just give everyone 1 minute to join in this Slido 59226. All right, so if you are joining us for the first time, I think most of the speakers do use some platforms, so I'm trying out this Slido today. So let's see how it goes. All right, so go to Slido, slido.com, and join 59226. And you should see a BBM, LDP, NCO Council, and there are quite some questions there already. Yeah, so I'll just give everyone about another 10 seconds, and then I'll start with something in Slido first, all right? All right, okay, let's begin, shall we? All right, so on Slido, please tap into polls, all right, which is the right tab. You have a Q&A and you have a polls, right? Tap into polls. And I'm going to start a poll with a very simple question, and let's see how the turnout will be, all right? It's a question. Yes, great. I'm seeing answers coming in. Great. Let's just wait another 10 more seconds. About half of you answered. It's a very simple question. So I'm trying this question so that I know Slido works, right? So that I know you're on Slido and you can ask me question, all right? Okay, so it's a very simple question, and while everyone is answering, today I'm going to talk about NCO Council. And since you're already on Slido platform, this platform allow you to ask me question at any point in time during the presentation. All right, so whichever slide, if you have any problem, question, and you'd like to know more, please type in your question and post it into the Slido. I'll be able to see the question live on my screen as well, and I will answer it later on. Okay, so you don't need to accumulate your question. You can post your question there and then when you have when there's something pop up on your mind and you would like to know more. All right. Okay, so let me stop this question on poll on Slido. Okay, and I see there's almost 70% of you answered. So let me go back to the slide, right? So today I'm going to talk about NCO's Council, and I believe that most of your companies have NCO Council, but however, I know there are some companies who don't have, because probably your company is still very new or you don't have many NCOs. So whether you are an NCO currently or you are still a private and aspiring to be an NCO, I think it is very important for you to understand how NCO Council work. And for those of you who are officers joining us today, I'm going to talk a bit about why we need NCO's Council. So we probably can see how we can do things differently with our NCOs in our company. All right. So here, I would like to introduce two speakers. One is myself and one is Captain Jordan. So Captain Jordan is from 12 Kuching. He's captain of 12 Kuching at the moment. He joined the Boys Brigade in 2006 with 8 Kuching. And he was the first president man of 8 Kuching in 2010. And he also became the first founders man of 8 Kuching, of 8 Kuching in 2012. And he founded 12 Kuching with Siong Tao Methodist Church last year. And he is captain now, right? And he's a financial planner. However, Captain Jordan won't be able to join us today because he is traveling for work in Sarawak, and his internet connection is not very stable. So he recorded a short part of his presentation, and I'm going to screen to everyone later on. And I'm here, I'm Kafe, I'm from First Kuala Lumpur, I'm a lieutenant. I joined the Boys Brigade when I was 8 years old in 2004. I got my President's Award in 2013, my Founders Award in 2016. I went through the rank and file, I was a sergeant, and then I became a lieutenant last year. I'm currently also the head of senior section for First Kuala Lumpur, and I work as a strategy and management consultant. So I help people solve business problems. Yeah, so this is both of us prepared this presentation and this session for all of us this evening. So I'll start the session. All right. So the first thing first is the NCO Council is a body consists of all NCOs in the company. So it's just in a way it's just a group, right? But we give it a very nice name. We call it NCO Council. But why is it called council? Right? And let's go back to our Slido. I'm going to launch a new poll right now. So on your Slido, I'm launching a new poll. All right. And here you are able to share your answer. What does the word council mean? And what are the council you see outside of BB? So what do you understand about the word council? And I can also share screen to let you guys see what everyone is answering. Here you go. Yes, so tell me, what do you understand about the word council, and what are the councils outside you see? It's a group, it's a student council, a team, a community, people who work together, a group of people, a body of people elected to manage the affairs of a city. Wow, okay, this is very formal answer, that's right. Yeah, let's have more people joining in. We have 18 entries. So what do you understand about the word council? Let's give everyone another 10 seconds, all right? So if you're typing, type a bit faster, all right? And then we will go through some of these interesting answers. All right, okay, I'll just stop here. Okay. Oops, let's see what are the answers we have in a bit, all right? Let me go back to my slide first. So yeah, by the way, if you're in our meeting, if you're joining us on Slido, the code is at the bottom here. If you have questions, you can join us at slido.com with the code 59226 and join us on our website, all right? Yeah, okay. So let me share screen with you what everyone talk about it, all right? Okay, so, sorry, it's a bit small, but let me just quickly go through. So the question is, what does council mean to you? And what are the councils you see outside? So we see a group of people, a body, a community, a student council, people who work, a group that makes decision, that's right. A council means a group of people asking for opinion. Yes. It's a management. Wow, okay. National Security Council, that's right. An administrative body, that's right. Okay, all of these answers are accurate. Okay, and NCO Council, in short, is a group of people, and all of these people are NCOs of the company. And what do you do? I'll go through a bit about what NCO Council do, so you understand. But generally, this group of people coming together as NCOs of the company to look into some of the issues and programs that you can conduct and handle in the company. All right. So let's go back to our slide here. The NCO Council is a body consists of all NCOs, right? Set up to assist in the smooth running of a company programs. So you look into programs, it's a group of people which are all NCOs, and you are answerable to the officer council of the company. So in case if you don't know, all your officers in the company, all the warrant officer, lieutenant, and your captain and your chaplain, everyone there, they are in the officer council. And if you have a group of NCO council, you report directly to the officer council, right? Next, so what do you do as a member of NCO of an NCO council? All right, so all NCOs are members of NCO council. Each member has a right to vote. So what do you vote for? Let's go through these pointers first. All right. So senior members who are not NCOs can also be taken into subcommittee when needs arises. Captains is ex officio and one officer assigned by officer council to act as an advisor for your NCO council, and he has no voting right. Any officer may attend council meetings as observer with no voting right. So here we talk a lot about your right as a member of the NCO Council. So in the NCO Council, there are a lot of voting that may take place. For example, voting for a position, voting who to be your chairman, who to be your secretary, your treasurer, and all that. It is also voting for programs. So let's just say one NCO said, I would like to do a fundraising program. So whether the NCO Council, everyone agree to do this together or not. So the NCOs have a right to vote and see whether this program to go forward or not and to be presented to the Officers Council or not, right? So each of you have a right to vote. The officers don't have, and the captain is ex officio, and normally we will have one advisor from the Officers Council to help you out with NCOs Council matters, to look after the NCO Council, right? And this person is sent by the Officer Council, okay? Next, this is the basic structure and composition of an NCO council. So an NCO council typically has a chairman and has an advisor, and this advisor comes from officer council. And you have a treasurer, a secretary, and all the other NCOs, right? I'm going to show you some example of how my company, First KIan, run our NCO council, and probably also how other companies work. All right, so let's see on this later on. Okay, so let me just quickly go through all these materials first, right? So in an AGM, annual general meeting, the council will convene to elect the following. So just now we talk about voting rights, and in voting means election. In election, you can elect your chairman, your vice chairman, secretary and treasurer. And normally the chairman is the most senior NCO or the highest ranking NCO that you have among the council. Chairman may appoint following NCOs to be responsible of the following. Now, this depends on how big your company is and what roles that your company needed, right? So whether you need a quartermaster and awards NCO in charge and program NCO in charge, an editor, a recreation band or drum major, right? And the chairman, the third point, chairman shall ensure that NCOs perform their duties promptly and faithfully. So if you are a sergeant here in my session today, one of you probably, you probably is the chairman of the NCO Council. And this is where your role comes in very important, because you have to make sure that everyone who reports to you do their work properly. And you are a big person then taking care of them. Okay? So how do an NCO Council function? So the functions that of an NCO Council, you need to assist in planning company program. You need to hear squad reports, or from the squad leaders or assistant squad leaders. You need to deal with squad issues and problems. You also recommend boys or girls for promotion and awards. You draw up squad duty roster for your weekly work, whether cleanliness or refreshment and all that. So these are very basic function of an NCO Council. Sorry, and some company have a lot more functions, and it depends on what roles that you have that the company have and created for the NCO Council. So it really runs a bit different from, say, first KL and second KL, third KL, or rather KL State NCO Council and Penang State or Johor State or Sabah State. Everyone works a bit differently, but that's the general idea, is that we all work together to make sure that programs run smoothly in the company, and we would like to assist our officers in doing so. Okay, and here are a few pointers that you need to take note of your relationship to the captain or to the council advisor. So let me just repeat again. The captain is the ex-officio, right? And your council advisor is a person that the officers council would normally send to advise the NCO council. So it's like an officer in charge to look after the NCO council. So that's your advisor. So what should you do here? You're normally, after every NCO council meeting, the minutes will be sent to the captain for his information, or sometimes for the captain to take action on. The NCO's council should always also refer to the captain or advisor whenever there are matters or issues beyond your power or your ability to handle. And there are also serious disciplinary cases and activities involving outside sources that you should need to refer to your captain or your advisor for decision. And of course, whatever programs or activities that you want to run in the company, as an NCO council that organize it, you need to submit a proposal to your officer council for approval before the activity actually take place. So I believe most of the companies NCO council operate that way. These are the very basic thing. Again, send your minutes to captain, and you always send your proposal or your report to your captain or your advisor whenever you have issue. And most importantly is you always refer to your captain and advisor when you have problems that is beyond what you can do. So for example, right, some of the NCOs probably, because you deal with so most of the NCOs, you are probably a squad leader and you deal with squad members, right? And sometimes these members do not have, some of these members have some issues with parents, not just the boy or girl themselves, not the member themselves. Sometimes it's very basic issue like, oh, I want to buy the new t-shirt, I want to buy my uniform parts. Those are very basic issue that if you're an NCO, you should be able to manage and you should know what to do. You need to go to the correct location and place an order, pay and all that, right? But sometimes there are some issues. For example, you need to deal with some members' parents. Some parents come after and like, hey, you are my son or my daughter's squad leader. Do you know whether why the company make this decision? Must I attend or not? Or must my son attend or not? So sometimes if it's beyond your ability or your control in doing making a decision, it's better you refer to your captain or your advisor. So that's where your officers and your captain should come in place to help you take action on. All right. Now, so let's come back to this, right? This is the basic structure and composition of NCO Council. And not many of you have NCO Council. I'm sorry, some of your companies don't have an NCO Council because it's probably new or there's only a few of you. But this is a very good starting point. This is a good basic structure that you can look into if your company do not have any NCO Council. And this is where you can start your NCO Council with this structure first, right? With a chairman, because every group you definitely need a leader. You need to elect a chairman, and your chairman normally should be the highest ranking NCO in the group. And then you talk to your officer and see whether your officer can talk to your captain first, right? And see whether your captain can appoint someone from the officer council to be the advisor for you for your NCO Council. And you elect the other members, a secretary, a treasurer, and an NCO. Now, in this structure, you see four roles that you must have, right? You must elect. A 3-role technically, your chairman, secretary, and treasurer, and then all your other NCOs. Sometimes you have many other roles, which I will show you how some of the other companies function. Sometimes, if your company is really small, you can even combine secretary and treasurer together because you may not have. So secretary write minutes and check out on deadlines and handle all the admin work. Sometimes your company is probably not very big. You only have about, say, 20 members senior section, right? A senior section of just 20 members. So you probably only have about 5 NCOs. Then you don't really need so many roles. Or if your senior section only like 10, 15 people, then you may consider combining the secretary role and the treasurer role. And because you don't have meetings all the time, so a secretary can also function as a treasurer. Now, I'm just going to briefly go through what are these people, what do these people do, right? So chairman, you have to give direction and you take care of everyone below you. A secretary, generally you handle all the administrative issue, writing minutes. Maybe the NCO Council need to write a report or a proposal as an NCO Council to the Officers Council. So the secretary have to do that, paperwork and all that. And then treasurer will handle the money. And sometimes some companies, you guys do weekly offering. So if you do that, then maybe this is where the treasurer come in to handle the money, the offering that you collected. Or some companies do annual subscription fee. So early of the year, you ask everyone to pay an annual subscription fee. And that is one way where that's where treasurer comes in to work. Another thing is sometimes you have camps as well, right? So you need to collect camp fees and collect all your camp consent form and all that. So this is where the treasurer and the secretary will come into action. And depending on how big your company is and what other roles you have, you will create more subcommittees later on, right? So this is a general basic structure that your company can look into if your company still do not have an NCO Council yet. So this is where you can start. This is a starting point that you can consider looking at, all right? Now, let me show you how my company work, how First KIan work. First KIan is, I won't say we are the largest company, right? But we are pretty big. Senior section, we have a total strength of about 80 members, and on regular, we have about 65 to 70 members who are regular every week. So the NCO Council play a very important part in handling a lot of the programs and activities and how our senior section operate, right? So here is I'm showing you the NCO Council structure of First KL. We have an advisor, so one officer from the Officers Council, right? And then a chairman. Now, the problem here is this is a bit special in the sense where I have a Sergeant Coordinator 1 and Sergeant Coordinator 2. I'm going to show you a picture of a photo of first KIan later on. But generally, currently we have 3 sergeants. And these 3 sergeants hold very important role. One is the chairman of the NCO Council because he needs to give direction to the NCO Council on the whole operation and activities, programs and all that for our NCO Council. And what do the other two sergeants do then? Because my company happened to have 3 sergeants. So the other 2 sergeants, they are not vice chairman, but because first KL, so what happened is, you see, in 2020, it was supposed to be a good year. We are supposed to go Malacca for Pesta and all that. And so what first KL Officer Council decided was that one sergeant take charge of the NCO Council. You handle the NCO Council, the operation part. The other 2 sergeants will help us on PESTA related issues. So I have 1 sergeant who only focus on managing our band. So he has to take charge of all the band related issues. And another sergeant will look into the drill, singing, dancing, and disciplinary issues of PESTA related. So these 2 sergeants are mainly our PESTA Power Ranger, right? He's both of them mainly drive our PESTA preparation, and 1 sergeant will focus on the operation itself. Now, meanwhile, we have many subcommittees, but that is because our company is a bit big and we do a lot of programs. So we have a lot of subcommittees below the NCO that reports to the NCO Council. And each of these committee actually report to one of these sergeants up here. Okay, so for example, the chairman will look into awards and brigadier. Then this sergeant coordinator one, which is a sergeant who help us to focus on band, will look into band committee and games committee and recruitment committee, for example. And then I have another sergeant who take charge of the rest. So on singing, dancing, drill for PESTA preparation, and also drill committee, quartermaster worship. So this is an example. So each of these committee, they report to one of the sergeants. Next, under the chairman, we have the vice chairman. So this vice chairman, we normally will not let a sergeant be. The reason being is, so for officers, maybe this is one point that you can consider referring to. So why we don't let vice chairman to be a we don't give the position of vice chairman to one of the sergeant is because we want to train the next generation of chairman. So in a way, we need to train another generation of sergeants who will be coming up. So the vice chairman would be a corporal if I have enough corporals in the company. So we will normally elect a corporal to be the vice chairman so that we can train him up to take over the NCO Council next year or something like that. And then they will elect the secretary and treasurer. First KIan also work a bit differently in the sense where not every year we have election for all of these roles. So unfortunately, it is not democracy every year in that sense. Reason being is because there are some batch of NCOs, we see their strengths and weaknesses, so we put them into the correct role immediately, because we need to run more efficiently instead of trying to figure out, oh, maybe you B or maybe I B, so let's vote, and then, oh, maybe vote for me, maybe vote for him. So we try to minimize all the time wasted there. We elect immediately. Some years, or actually most of the years, we will do election for vice chairman, secretary, and treasurer. Yeah, so that's how we run. This is first KIan structure. I'm also going to show you. I'm going to also show you the other 2 companies today. These are from Penang company, and I got this from their Facebook and somewhere online, right? But I'm just showing you. So this is Penang State, one of the company in Penang State. It is the 19th Penang. I'm not sure if any 19th Penang boys or girls or members are joining us today. But yeah, so this is what I got from the internet, right? So 19th Penang, this is their NCO structure. So a bit different, right? We have the president, which is the chairman, the vice president or the vice chairman, secretary. They don't have, they have a treasurer, but they are 5 sergeants. So the other few sergeants, they are master, right? They are discipline master, quarter master, award master. And the other NCOs are drill master, store master, event master, and squad master. So these roles and names and titles, it's really depend on how your company want to name them. For first year, we still use chairman, and then we have each of the committee. So whether you're a committee head or not. So they call, for 19th Penang, they call themselves as masters. So I believe, like say Corporal Jerome here, he's in charge of events. Lance Corporal Esther here in charge of the store and the squads. Yeah, so the main point here is actually 19th Penang have two different NCO structure. Let me show you what happened the following year after 2018-2019. Here is 19th Penang Company's NCO Council structure for 2019 and 2020. So I believe this is the latest lah, right? So they no longer have 5 sergeants. Their president is now a corporal, and the corporal Jerome Lee was event master, right? And now became the vice president. And then they have team lead instead now. We see team lead of art and design, team lead for media. They have a treasurer, team lead for BB shop, and all these assistants and secretaries. So every year, the NCO council structure may change or evolve. Why is that so? The reason being is because company may be in different phase every year. So this year, you have to see what are the need in your company to cater your NCO council structure to the need of your company. So if you see that, okay, we only have 20 members, we would like to focus on just games and drill. So maybe you don't need like a BB shop, art and design, publicity, and all that. You just have one role for drill, one role for games, you know. So and the next year, say your company have been doing very well. Now you have from 20 members become 40 members. Now, if your company become 40 members, then your company can do a lot more things. Now, when your company can do a lot more things, you can change the NCO council structure again, depending on the need. So you probably have more subcommittee because you can do a lot more events, right? So I'm just showing you this example where this Penang company actually work a bit differently. They have two different NCO council structure in 2 different years, right? And even for first scale, we don't run this all the time. We also change every now and then, depend on our need. But at least for the past few years, I think the most consistent is this subcommittee that we have, because we try to keep that consistent. Yeah. So that's how we work. If you have any question, again, you can always join us on slido.com code 59226 and ask me any question live. All right. And yeah, so I've shown you one NCO council structure from Kuala Lumpur State, 2 NCO council structures of the same company in Penang State of 2 different years. And now I would like to bring in Mr. Jordan, the captain of 12 KL, to share with us a bit of his experience in his previous company, Kuching. All right, so let me just share screen. All right, so we welcome Captain Bong from Kuching.
Hi, good evening to all boys and girls. I'm the Captain Bong from the 12 Coaching Company. So just briefly introduce about my company, 12 Coaching. Temporarily, we have 2 sections. One is a junior, another is a pre-junior. Our average attendance is about 27 members. So within this, the CMCO period, I believe all of us cannot have any of the physical activities. Uh, so all our activities, the parades, make it online. So since this is the new normal to all of us, we just make the challenge, take the challenge, and try the new things with my officers and also the junior as well. So here I just share some of my background in my ex company. Back to the 2006, I joined the Boys Brigade when I was 14. Although it is quite late to join the Boys Brigade, but I found that some of the activities were interesting. So during that time I joined, I was 1 year older than the others in my batch. Of course, some of them are older. That might be the reason I was the first batch of the NCO in the company, also the youngest among the others NCOs. On that time, we all are promoted to the less corporal right after our first basic NCO training school, BNTS, in the end of the 2006. For sure, it has a lot of the expectation from my captain, Mr. Wong. Mr. Wong is a very kind person and also very passionate to guide us, teach us, started from the zero. So we do the planning meeting together. Since we all did not have any experience on the planning and also the meeting, so the Mr. Wong took the opportunity to sit down with us and lead us to do all of this. So many of you might have a thought, when was my company NCO Council formed? In that time, we have only 5 NCOs, including myself. In the end of the 2007, that time I was a corporal in the rank and also the highest rank in the company. So definitely I have to chair the meeting in the NCO Council. So my position will be the chairman in the NCO Council. I believe some of you are the chairperson in the council. Face the same pressure that I have during that time. It might be tough to do the decisions when you come to the money matter. Example, the budget planning for the departments and also something dealing with the cash. It is good to have a lovely and caring officer in charge with us, always guides us when we are in the doubt. Because we only have 5, so our relationship is very close. Thank God now I grow up and capable to use all these skill to manage my own company. In my first meeting, I not remember how was it, but I ensure that I'm very blur during that time. I believe all of you will do it as well. Don't worry, I can say that it is common. This is common. But I have one experience when I come to the meeting without the minutes copy. Do imagine that during that time, I look at my secretary and I ask, where is my minutes and agenda copies? He said, you guess what he said? He said, leave at home. It's a good this is a not good experience, and we have to cancel the meeting. So this might not a good things to learn, but it's always be my good reminder on it. So the early preparation is the fundamental when we come to the meeting. No matter you are in your academy or the BB life, always remember to do the preparation before it's come. The story not end yet. At the end, we all will catch and be scolded by the officer in charge. Until now, I still remember this. So let me ask you guys, do you know the NCO has the right to vote during the council meeting? So show your answer in your chat room now. I give about 10 seconds. You just answer yes or no. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So the answer is yes. Each of the NCO in the council has the right to vote, but the senior members who are not the NCO cannot do the voting. So you have to remember on this. The second question is, how about the officer? Does the officer has the right to do the voting during the meeting. Okay, 10 seconds.
The chat group is disabled.
Yes or no? Simple answer. So the answer is no. The officer has no right to do that. Okay, remember. But do remember that the captain or the assigned officer can be your ex-official. They are responsible to supervise all the members in the NCO Council, but all they have no right to do no voting right. Okay. Okay. Let me do some conclusion here. I'm not sure how you feel in your NCO Council, but I am sure that you can find the interest in your NCO Council as well. Do take the initiative to learn from your seniors and the officers. They are willing to teach you and guide you. Never give up to learn, because I'm still learning, same as you. All right. Okay. So now I pass the time back to Lieutenant Cafe. Okay. Thank you and see you all soon in the next program. Okay. Bye.
Wonderful. I'm so thankful because Mr. Jordan unable to be with us this evening, but he still take his time out and record a short message for us. So let me go back to our slide. So yeah, so Captain Jordan, when he was with 8 Kuching, it's very interesting because he's one of the new batch, right? And he don't have any reference point to start with how an NCO Council can actually run. And here we can see that today, with this 21st century, with internet, and I think BBM HQ have been doing a lot of great work here in making sure that all these materials are available. So if your company is new and you don't know how to start an NCO Council, the first thing first is I would tell you to go and ask your captain, and your captain can access to BBM HQ and ask them for materials how to start an NCO Council. Now, and also again, like just now I was sharing, this is the most basic structure that you can begin with. And if you have a pen and pencil, or you want to screenshot, you can screenshot this structure and you can start with this. Even though that your company is so small that maybe your officer council only have 2 officers, 1 captain and 1 officer, and you have maybe 3 NCOs and you would like to run an NCO Council, is that possible? My answer to you is yes. If you're an NCO, if you're one of the 3 NCO of that small company today, gather your friends, the other 2 friends together, 3 of you guys as an NCO, gather together and see what are the things that you want to do together for the company. Even if it's just I want to organize a birthday party to celebrate with one of our squad members, that is fine. You can definitely do that. And for you to do that as 3 of you as NCOs coming together, it is actually as good as coming from an NCO Council itself already. So 3 of you can come together, plan something, talk to your captain and say, hey, captain, I have 3 of us have sit together, come up with this plan, and we would like to celebrate a birthday party for our members whom have birthday in September, October, November, and December, right? And you want to probably buy 2 cakes and celebrate birthday with all these members. You can do that. And you see, birthday party is probably one of the simplest, easiest event that you can think of. And I want to assure you that when you have your friends, all the NCOs coming together, when all of these brains and ideas joining together, you can do great and mighty things for your company. All right. So let me continue. So we want to thank Mr. Jordan, captain of 12 Kuching, just now. So I would like to share with you, especially for officers who are with us today, I think there are quite a handful. I've taken this from 1 Corinthians, chapter 12, I think. Sorry, I actually forgotten to quote the Bible verse, right? But the where it comes from. But anyway, this is from 1 Corinthians, and it's talking about the body of Christ. Let me just quickly read to you. the human body has many parts, right? Our body has many parts, but that many parts make up one whole body. So it is with the body of Christ. Some of us are Jews, some of us are Gentiles, some are slaves, some are free. But we have all been baptized in one body by one Spirit, and we all share the same Spirit, the Holy Spirit. Yes, the body has many different parts, not just one part. If the foot says, I am not a part of the body because I'm not a hand, that does not make any less a part of a body. If the ear says, I am not a part of the body because I'm not an eye, would that make it any less a part of the body? If the whole body were an eye, how would you hear? Or if your whole body were an ear, how would you smell anything? But our bodies have many parts, and God has put each part just where He wants it. How strange a body would be if it had only one part. Yes, there are many parts, but only one body. The eye can never say to the hand, I don't need you. The head can never say to the feet, I don't need you. In fact, some parts of the body that seem weakest and least important are actually the most necessary. And the parts we regard as less honorable are those we clothe with the greatest care. So we carefully protect those parts that should not be seen, while the more honorable parts do not require this special care. So God has put the body together such that extra honor and care are given to those parts that has less dignity. This makes for harmony among the members so that all the members care for each other. If one part suffers, all the parts suffer with it. And if one part is honored, all the parts are glad. All of you together are Christ's body, and each of you is a part of it. And this is from 1 Corinthians chapter 12, talking about the body of Christ, right? And I've read the whole thing for you, but I just want to get you into a quick few verses here. Verse 12. The human body has many parts, but the many parts make up one whole body. So it's the body of Christ. I want to tell you this. Your company, whichever your company is, whether it's a big company, small company, whether you only have junior section or only pre-junior section or only senior section, or maybe only 15 members, or maybe only 5 members, or even if you're a company with 100 members, your company function together as one body, and each part play a very important role, all right? But our bodies have many parts, and God has put each part just where He wants it. So I want to tell you this. The company have officer council because all the officers come together. That's the officer council. But look, all of you who are NCOs can also come together as an NCO council, and you guys as an NCO council is equally important to the company, and you guys can do great, honorable, mighty things as well. All right? And same thing. Now, if the officers suffer, okay, one part suffer, all parts suffer. One part is honored, all parts are glad. Same thing. If the officers are suffering because they have to do everything on their own, I will tell you this, you as the member, whether you're a private or a corporal or a sergeant, you will suffer as well. Same thing. If you work closely with your officer, work together as one part, and officers, if you work closely with your NCOs and working together as one body, all parts will be honored, all parts will be glad, the body will function properly just as how God wants it to be. All right? And all of you together are Christ's body, and each of you is part of it. So this is how all of us, whether I'm a lieutenant or I'm a captain or I'm the advisor of the NCO Council, or I'm the chairman, I'm the secretary, or I'm just a normal NCO, each of us play an important part, and all of us function like a puzzle. When we make patch together, we show the big picture. All of us represent the whole body, and all of us have to play our part. And when one part is honored, all parts are glad. Remember that, all right? And same thing, just like how Jesus have 12 disciples. So this is very simple. Why do Jesus need 12 disciples? There are many explanations that you can find on Google. But my understanding reading the Bible for years, right, is because God's ministry need people to run, and God cannot rely on Jesus alone. And Jesus worked together closely with all his disciples to do God's work together so that that work that God wants them to do can be done well, and so that God can be glorified. So same thing in our company. The company cannot just run with one chairman. The company cannot be run with just one captain. The company need the NCO councils all coming together, that need the NCO council coming together with all the NCOs, with all the officers, working hand in hand to bring the company to a greater height. All right. And I would like to show you this picture. So I'm on the most left here, right? And of course, this. So what happened is that we had a promotion early this year in January. I think the first Saturday, we meet on Saturday. So on our first parade, we did a promotion. And these three sergeants are the sergeants that I was talking about in our NCO council structure. One of them is our chairman, and the other two, although they don't have the title as chairman, but are they less important? No. Are they equally important? Yes, because they take care of the other part of NCO council, which one chairman cannot handle everything by himself. So all three work together, looking after the entire NCO council, and all of the NCOs working together with the officers, and we bring our weekly parade to our boys every week. So that is how it is very important that all of us work together, regardless of your rank, regardless whether you have a proper title or not, and whichever part you fall on in the NCO council structure or the company, because all of you are important. All right. Yeah. So I'm just sharing with you this picture, and I have 3 tips. Before we go into the Q&A, is to conclude whatever that I've spoken just now. So you have seen the basic NCO structure, and also how first scale run, a bigger company. For Captain Jordan from 8th Kuching last time, is slightly smaller company, just new. So it's a relatively simple structure. And I've also shown you 2 different structure of the same company in Penang. 2 different year, they changed the NCO council structure depending on the need of the company, right? So it is really free, in a way, a bit free will, like how you as an NCO want to run your NCO council if you are new in your company. If not, you can always check with your chairman, and things can be changed and yearly depending on the need. And always work together with your officers, right? So 3 tips to end our session before I go into Q&A today. First tip is that set up an NCO council structure based on the roles that are needed for your company and only relevant to your company. So if your company don't need a drill committee, don't do drill committee, right? If your company don't need a games committee, don't need to purposely set up a games committee. Your role and your structure should be depending on the need, right? Secondly, is make sure that your ideas, your plans, your proposals are beneficial for everyone. Now, like I said, right? If one part suffer, every part suffer. If you're an NCO and you plan something that is not useful for the company, everyone will suffer in the end. So make sure whatever ideas or plans or proposals that you have must be beneficial to everyone in your company, your fellow NCOs, your peers, your members who are below you, and your officers. Everyone must be benefited from your idea, right? And third is that work very closely, work hand in hand with your officers, because that is how everyone play their part together, and your company can grow from there. All right, so this is the 3 parts that 3 tips, right, that I can conclude from our session today. And I'll bring you back to our Slido. So if you have any question, please join me on slido.com with the code 59226, and I will answer your question from there. If you want to ask your question in our chat box, that is also doable. I think you can now type in the chat box. If you have any question, you can ask me on Slido. We can answer that, and or also the Zoom chat here. Okay, so I'll remember Slido, slido.com, code 59226. So I'll share screen on our Slido. so that we can see what are the questions we have. Yep, here it is, Slido. Okay, so let me just quickly see all the questions. Okay, so I'll answer as many as I can, okay, because I think there are quite a lot of questions already. First question, do we really need an NCO council? Now, if by book or if you, right, by book, it's not a need, but coming with experience on growing up rank and file and speaking to Captain Jordan, coming from a very new company, it is a need. Why? Because it is very important that all NCOs come together to work together, right? If you're an officer who asks this question, I would say yes, need, because I would see us officer just like how I would imitate how Jesus ran his ministry, right? He have 12 disciples and he discipled them. So I would see NCO Council as a very important part here, where us as an officer can use this platform to disciple our members and the next generation of leaders. So this is so that's why I say it's a need. If you're an NCO, do we really need? I would still say yes. Why? Because there are members who report to you, and as an or NCO, you would want to come together and do something for your members, and you want to take good care of these members who are under your care, who report to you. So yes, NCO Council is a need. What do an NCO Council do? I think I answered just now. Basic three things are, I think three things, right? The basic few things are to run the program smoothly for the company, to help out with your officers' council. And I guess the third thing is to take good care of your members. Yeah. Okay. Next question here. If we never have NCO Council before, what should we do? Now, if you're an NCO, I assume you're an NCO, right? And your company don't have an NCO Council before, what should you do? First thing, talk to your captain, okay? And say that we have a few NCOs here, 2 or 3 members, that's fine. We want to come together. We want to set up an NCO Council. And can we have approval from you? Okay, ask your captain that. And likelihood is that your captain will say yes. And that's where you get your approval. Then you gather with your NCO Council, start with this basic structure, identify one leader, which is the chairman, and who be the secretary, treasurer, or whatever role that you want to set up in your NCO Council that is relevant to your company. So each one take one role, and all of you come together frequently and think about the programs and how to run certain activities smoothly in the company. So I guess the most basic thing, right, is that you don't think about what extra new things that you want to do for our company first. First thing first is, how can we come together and help our officers to run our BB program better, so that our members, our boys and girls, can enjoy BB more. So that should be the first thing. And then slowly on, we can think about a bigger program or new programs for the company. All right. Can 13 years old private apply to become an NCO? Now, this is a bit tricky to answer. I think every company run a bit differently. Some company do things like application. So you can apply, and then probably you have an officer to assess you and look into where is your growth in terms of the leadership journey. What are the leadership qualities that you are lack of? What are the things that you need to, that the officer should look into to groom you more to become an NCO when you're ready? Some companies don't. So for first KL, we don't, right? So you can't apply to become an NCO, but the sergeants can nominate and propose to the officer council on who are the new NCOs that we can look into for promotion. So that's what First KL do. And I think many of the companies do that as well. Some, the sergeant can propose new corporal, some new corporal can propose new lance corporal. It really depends on which company you're from. But normally, generally, 13 years old, you can't be an NCO. I think it's written in our BB handbook also. Lance corporal minimum age is 14. So maybe, you know, you just enjoy your first year, learn more about BB first, and then let's look into becoming an NCO the next year, right? Who leads an NCO Council? The chairman. Must a sergeant be NCO chairman? What happens when you have more than 2 sergeants? Now, this is where, interesting, right? For first scale, normally one of the chairman will be one of the sergeant will be the chairman. The other sergeant will act as an advisor or a second chairman in that sense. But it's not a chairman title per se because you can only have one chairman. Normally in first scale, we don't get the second sergeant be the vice chairman because I always think that the vice chairman is to reserve for my next generation of sergeant. So I want to start grooming the next sergeant up. Yeah, so that's how we do. So like for first scale, we have 3 sergeants this year. So one is the chairman, the other 2 is sergeant coordinator. I call them coordinator because they help us to coordinate the PESTA preparation earlier on. And they also look into different committees. So each sergeant in charge of few committees and squads. Next, is it hard to start an NCO Council? No, speak to your captain, right? That's the starting point. Talk to your captain first. Gather your NCOs together. My company is very new. How do I even have NCO Council? I guess it's my answer would be this. As long as you have 2 members, 2 NCOs in your company, right? You can start an NCO Council. 1 chairman and 1 secretary and treasurer. You can run NCO Council. It's no problem. And this NCO Council is just a title for a group of NCOs in your company. So is 2 people a group? Yes. When you have more than 1, it's a group. So yes, so if you have 2 or 3 NCOs, come together, start NCO Council. And trust me, you have to start somewhere. Whether you start from the simplest structure that I showed you just now, or you want to start something big, you always have to start somewhere. So I would say just start it, just start something simple. And as your company grow older and bigger, things will change along the way. Never seen my officer, seems like my officer are not very keen for us to have an NCO Council. What should we NCOs do? If your officer is here, I would speak as an officer as well. Please have the NCO Council, right? We want to train and disciple more young leaders. And BB is not just about fun and it's not just about drill. It's about training the new generation of leaders. So yes, please support to have NCO Council. If you're an NCO, what should you do if an officer don't support you? Talk to your captain and also see who are the officers that actually don't agree on or not keen to have an NCO Council. Is it because some NCOs did some mistake earlier on, or why is that so? So find out the reason first. Maybe your officers are not keen because your captain is the only person in the company. Maybe you don't have any other officers. So the captain is very overwhelmed. The captain has a lot of things to do. So maybe that's a reason. If that's the case, I would say that, NCO Council, you need you need an advisor because you don't want everything to go to your captain straight away. But I guess if your company is small, your captain can somewhat still be an advisor and just function lesser, just do lesser and smaller things first, right? You don't need to plan mega big events. Just start with very simple activities that you can do weekly with your company. That's where the NCO Council come into play. And officers, yes, officers should always empower the NCOs and members to take on leadership role. And that's where NCO Council comes in. They take on leadership role in all the subcommittees and disciple the next generation of leaders. Okay, next. Can a Lance Corporal be the head of the committee, although there is higher ranking NCO in the committee? I think for a subcommittee, yes, in that sense, right? Because if it's elected one, then I guess it's elected, right? It doesn't matter who is older or who is higher ranking. But most importantly, your chairman of the NCO Council itself must be the highest ranking lah. Other than that, I think it's fine. And some companies say, like taking first scale as an example, sometimes I do get my Lance Corporal to be the chairman of the committee. Why? Of committee lah, not the council of the committee. Because I want to train this Lance Corporal. And where do the corporal do? What do the corporal do then? I make this corporal as the advisor for these smaller subcommittees. So the corporal will also report to the sergeant in NCO Council, right? And they all help look after these committees as well. So in a way, like the sergeant look after corporal, corporal look after the Lance Corporal. So that should be the way. Everyone look after each other. So yes, it's possible. Lance Corporal as the head and higher ranking in the same committee. Yes. Can a private be involved in NCO Council meeting? No, because NCO Council is only for NCO Council is only for NCOs. Okay. Okay, this is some nonsense. If Lance Corporal is the organizing chairman, the higher rank NCO should do their job by rank or following the BOD. BOD here stands for what? Board of Directors. Or if Lance Corporal is the organizing chairman, the highest rank NCO should do their job by rank. Okay, let me put it that way. I'm assuming that organizing chairman is because you're organizing an event lah. Say NCO Council, you have a subcommittee and this subcommittee in charge of planning an event for the company. And the chairman of that subcommittee of that planning of the event is a Lance Corporal, right? And you have other higher ranking in the NCOs. What should you do? I believe that if you are a corporal in that committee, if you are sitting here in my session today, learn to also listen to your Lance Corporal, right? It is not, if you are the corporal and you're higher ranking, doesn't mean whatever that you say is always correct. So you should be taking the guiding role instead, and to shed some light to this Lance Corporal, what might be mistake, what might not be, and what is a good idea, what may not be a good idea. So I guess you should take more of that and to support your Lance Corporal. So probably your Lance Corporal needed people to look after some other smaller committee within the organizing team or in the event itself. So you probably just do your responsibility that is assigned to you. Okay, raining meatballs. I hope I don't find out who you are, all right? And we are here for serious matters. If there is a conflict happens in NCO Council, like BODs don't like their new elected chairman by officer, how can we solve it? Now, if you don't like your chairman in your NCO Council, as an NCO Council, or few of you who don't like, speak to your advisor first. Okay, speak to your council advisor, which is the officer or your captain. In the event that, you see, sometimes officer also will make mistake, right? So sometimes the officer wanted to appoint someone as the chairman, but the chairman did not function properly. Then you need to speak to the captain or the advisor, and you probably need to do a proper election. Because if the chairman can't command the majority in the NCO Council, it is very difficult for the NCO Council to work together as well. So if you are the chairman today and sitting in my session, well, I guess that's the pressure on you, but that is a good learning curve. All right, it's about how can you be a good leader and get people to not just follow you for the sake of your rank or your title, but more of respecting you because you are really a good leader and you can guide them on the future direction. How to become a more influenced speaker. To become an influenced speaker, I guess it's practice. To become an influential leader, how can you make bigger influence towards your followers? I think it takes a lot of experience in being a good leader. I guess reading is one thing, definitely. Read up how good leaders function. And most importantly is that a good leader, okay, you see, since we're in NCO Council, right, let me give you one tip, right, that I always tell my NCOs in first KL, and every year I tell this to NCOs. A good leader is when you train up another batch of leaders to be better than you, then you are a good leader. A good leader is not just a leader with most followers. You can have all the NCOs listening to you because you are a leader, because you're the sergeant. But so what if you are a sergeant, but you can't make good decisions and you can't guide your NCOs well? So if you really want to be a good leader, is to take good care of your the members below you, and guide them, and for officers we talk about discipleship lah. Yeah, so training your next generation of leaders to be better than you is the first step of becoming a good leader by yourself. Yeah, so that's what I hold on to for years. What is a quartermaster? A quartermaster is someone who in charge of uniform parts, technically. Yeah, so most of the companies, they sell uniform parts to you, right? So they have to order from BBM and then they sell it back to you. So the quartermaster handle all this ordering, and then combine all the orders and talk to BBM and order the uniform parts from BBM and all that. So that's what the quartermaster do. Okay, just let's just quickly go through. I'll have to pick and choose, all right, because we are a bit over time. And yeah, okay. You know what? Maybe okay, I guess there's a lot of nonsense down here. I guess I answered most of the questions. Brigadier is a committee, okay. Then compiles it, okay, so this is talking about brigadier. Does the treasurer needs to prepare company accounts? No, all right, no. A treasurer only need to take care of what the NCO Council handle. Or so, for example, in first year, we make the treasurer to take care of the camp fees that we collect. Ultimately, you still submit to your company treasurer, and your company treasurer is an officer by itself. So submit to the officer will know what to do, or your officer, the company treasurer, the officer will guide you as the treasurer what you can do. All right, so don't worry, you don't need to prepare company accounts. Does the chairman of NCO Council has the power to restructure all the company? No. So chairman, please speak to your advisor. Normally it is at least for first KL, it is an officer council decision. Yeah, to see whether we need to restructure or not. But the chairman can propose to the advisor and say like, okay, this is a bit different, we want to restructure. Yes, you can do that, but you can't change on your own. Speak to your advisor first. Other than that, I think okay, this is my last question. Last two, okay? And I guess we have to end the night. I guess the rest are not relevant question anymore. What if we have NCO Council already, but whatever we suggested to make changes are all not working? Then does this council still useful? Now, I guess to answer this question, I need to understand what are the changes that you want to make and why is it not working? Is it not working because your officer stopping you, or not working because like, or you have new idea, and then as an NCO you try out and then it's still not working, and then you try again and it's still not working? My answer to you is, if it's officer that's stopping you, speak to your officer, find out why again. If it's you yourself as an NCO and trying to make a change and nothing has been changing, yes, I agree and I understand it is very tiring, but do not give up. Okay, everything, when you start fresh, anew, you must always make mistake. And I must tell you, along the journey, you must make mistake. And only through these mistakes and only through these episodes that you find out what don't work, what changes don't work, you will not repeat it in the future. And you will tell your fellow younger NCOs to not repeat the same thing because you have tried it and it's not working. So keep trying. You will eventually find out that one method that works for your company. All right. Okay, what is the maximum number of NCOs in a council? No maximum number. All NCOs combined together can form the NCO Council. All right. And yes, so that's the end for my sharing today. Let me go back to my slide. Yes, I'm here. So yes, so thank you so much for your question on Slido. I will get Mr. George to send this PowerPoint slide to all of you who sign up for our Zoom session this evening, so that you can have a copy and you would be able to refer to this in the future. All right. So yeah, so that's the end of my sharing this evening. Thank you so much, guys. I really enjoy speaking to all of you. Back to you, Mr. George.
All right, thanks very much, Mr. Cafe, for the amazing sharing and answering all the questions. Wow, so many questions. Really kudos to you for answering all of them. So I think without further ado, let's go directly to the best part of every session, which is the group photos. All right. So now I want everyone to open their videos, and let's do a virtual group photo like Mr. Godfrey says. All right.
Do that.
Okay, let's turn on your video. All right, turn on your video. I'll give 30 seconds for everyone to turn on their videos. Okay, make sure your face is lit up. You can see yourself in the video as well. All right, get ready. Okay, let's do a countdown of 10 seconds, starting from now. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Someone is still not opening their video yet. Okay, one more time. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Okay. So once again, thanks to Mr. Cafe for such a meaningful sharing. And I think let's give a round of applause to him for that great sharing. All right. So the slides will be emailed to you guys. So check out your email. And also, if you need more resources, just let us know. We are always here to help you guys. And you guys are future leaders. And I very much agree to what Mr. Cafe has shared, that you guys are the ones who is building the future. So be confident in yourself and grow together in this BB ministry. All right, so to end the night, we'll do our tradition of the BB Vesper so that we can pray for a good night's sleep tonight. All right. Let me check. All right. Okay. Ready? Sound off.
Great God who knoweth all our needs, bless our watch and guard our sleep. Forgive our sins of thought and deed, and in thy peace thy servants keep. We thank thee for the day that's done. We trust thee for the days to be. Thy love we learn in Christ thy Son. Oh, here we all his glory see. Amen.
Before you go, I need you to do a survey. So there will be questions pop up on your screen. Then once you do it, then we'll end for the night. All right, you should see the polls now. All right, answers. What do you think about these questions? This the content of this seminar, and whether it's useful, does it meet your expectation, or we'll join the next one. So the next one is coming out end of next month in November. All right. So the speaker will be myself. We'll be sharing about squad management. All right. So if you want to know what is it about, stay tuned for that and register. The registration link will be posted on Facebook and Instagram. Go check it out on the BB Facebook page and Instagram. All right, so at BB Malaysia for Facebook and at BB Malaysia_official for Instagram. All right. So once again, thank you, Cafe. Very, very, very good content. And now we'll convey the thanks to Captain Jordan as well.
Yes,
All right.
our pleasure.
All right. So awesome. So if you have done the poll, thank you everyone, and have a good night. And also let's wish Cafe a very good night as well.
See you guys in the next session. Thank you. Bye-bye.